Hi everyone, welcome to Java Techie. If you are a Spring Boot developer and looking to integrate your app with a large language model, then you don't need to be an expert in any other programming language. Rather, you can leverage that using Spring AI ecosystem. In fact, if you have been following this channel, you might have already seen our previous integration about Spring AI with LLaMA to Spring AI with ChatGPT. Okay, if you have not gone through this video, don't worry, I'll share the link in video description so that you can refer it. Now with all the buzz around DeepSeek, let's put it to the test in our Spring Boot application and get real-time AI response. So in this tutorial, I'll walk you through integrating DeepSeek R1 with Spring Boot using Ollama, and we'll also set up a perfect playground to experiment and build whatever we want. Okay? Alright. So without any further delay, let's get started. So before we start integrating DeepSeek with our Spring AI, I am assuming that you already have DeepSeek set up in your machine. If not, don't worry. I already explained how to run DeepSeek locally. If you'll scroll down, this is the video where I explain in details how can you run the DeepSeek in your machine using Ollama. Okay, so you just follow this video. It will take max 2 minutes to complete the setup. So just do it quickly. However, let me reiterate the steps. So if you will go to the browser and search your ollama.com, you will find the download option. Just click on the download and choose the correct operating system and install it. Once you have installed the Ollama, then you can click on this Ollama icon. Here you can find the different large language model. Since we want DeepSeek R1, just click on it. And here you can find the command to bring up the DeepSeek R1 in your local. Okay. You can ask Ollama, hey Ollama, can you please run DeepSeek R1 model on my machine? So Ollama will ask you, okay, which model you want to use, whether you want to go for 1.5 billion parameter or 671 billion parameter, which one you want to choose. It depends on your system configuration. If you are having low configuration, go for this one. Okay, 1.5 billion parameter. Now this is the command you need to run in your terminal. Okay. Since I already installed Ollama, I'll just open it. So you can find the icon here. The Ollama is up and running. Now if I'll go to the terminal and I will ask what is the version I am using. I am using the 0.5.7. Now if I list down the Ollama list, you can see the model which is available on my machine. DeepSeek R1 1.5 billion parameter. Okay, that is what we downloaded from here. We run this particular command. Okay, so you just follow this step. It will take max 2 minutes. Don't take much of your time. Once you have done with this setup, then simply just go to the Spring AI official page. If you read here, Spring AI is an application framework for AI engineering. Spring AI supports a lot of model to integrate. Now if you scroll down, there is option to chart completion. You can integrate text to image, audio transcription, text to speech, lot of things you can integrate using Spring AI, and you can play with the AI world. Okay, just go through this particular document. This is really well documented. You can go through it and just learn whatever the things you need. Since this is just we want to integrate to one of the model, that is DeepSeek R1, I will click on chart completion. Now if you observe here, if you scroll down, there is an option for Ollama. Okay, let me zoom this for you. Can you see here? There is an option called Ollama. Just open it. Now it clearly mentions each and every step what you can do. Okay, how you can integrate to different large language model using Spring AI and Ollama. All the steps are clearly mentioned here. So first you need to Ollama pull the model which you want to use, which you already did it. Now if you see here, this is what the dependency you need to add in your POM. Then if you scroll down, These are the properties you need to add in your application.properties or YML file specific to the chat properties, what you need to add. And there are so many things, guys. Okay, you can start exploring about this particular documentation. Currently, let's focus on the DeepSeek integration. Now these are the option to call the model. Okay, so let's create a new project and we'll follow the same step what mentioned in this particular document. Okay, before that, to validate whether your Ollama is up and running or not, how can you validate that? By default, if you start the Ollama service, it will run on the port localhost 11434. Okay, let me open this. You should see this message, Ollama is running. Okay, we are good to start now. Let me go to the Spring initializer and create a new project quickly. So we are using Maven and the latest version 3.4.2, that is what we are using here. Let me fill this form. Next, add all the required dependency. I'll add the web dependency. Then I just want to add a user interface, so I'll just add TimeLeaf. You can skip that if you want to test through Postman or Swagger. I just added the time leap to just add some HTML page so that you will get the better look and feel. Okay, and then the important thing, that is Ollama. If you read here, Spring AI support for Ollama. It allow you to run various large language model locally and generate the text from them. Okay, so Ollama is more powerful to communicate to different large language model. Okay, this is just a medium. Your Spring Boot application will talk to the Ollama. Then whatever the large language model you have installed through Ollama, he will talk to them. Okay, you no need to take that header. Now click on generate. Now let me import this particular project to IntelliJ IDEA. So we are good. Now let's go to the pom.xml, and if you check, we are using the latest version, and then the dependency we have added Spring Boot Starter, TimeLeaf, Web and Ollama. Can you see here? Spring AI Ollama, Spring Boot Starter, and the Spring AI version we are using this one. All good, right? Now just close this. Now what you understand from this Spring AI page, to start with Ollama, you need to tell to your application, hey, this is what the Ollama is running on this particular port and what model you are using through the Ollama. These two things you need to tell to your application. Okay, so you can simply copy from here. Just go to your application.properties file, or if you want, you can create the application.yml file. What is the port, default port of Ollama? This one, right? Just copy this, paste it here. Now what next? Go to the documentation. We need to define the chart model. Okay, Spring AI Ollama chart option model. What AI model you are using through Ollama, that also you need to specify. So if you will add it here and just define the model name, what model you have through Ollama, this model, right? Just copy it. Now by defining this key and value, your Spring Boot application will look into the Ollama. Okay, he found the Ollama server up and running. Then from that Ollama, you will check about this particular model. If it is up and running, then you will simply connect your application to this guy. Okay, that is what the simple thing you need to define. Now I'll just change the port, server.port to 9191. Let it be. Okay, now we are good in the configuration part. Next, let's create our own AI service who will communicate to this Ollama and this one. So let me create a different package here. Chat AI service. Now from your chat AI service, how can you programmatically connect to the DeepSeek R1 model which is running on your Ollama? So for that, Spring AI provide you few library. Okay, so if you see your chat client API, here you can find, right, chat client builder. There is a template chat client, you can use this. Okay, let me add this in our code. You can find the import statement from AI. All good. just define the constructor. Now here you can use the chat client builder dot builder, then you can just define here. You can just ask to, hey chat client builder, can you please build a chat client object for me? All good, right? Now you have the chat client template with you. You just ask the prompt to this guy, he will connect to the corresponding model which is running on your local, okay, using Ollama. So let me write a method, public will return me the string as a response. You can create a ditiv and map it, but let it keep the string for now. So ask to DeepSeek AI, okay, what you want to ask, this is what my question. Now we can simply use chat client dot, what is the prompt is nothing my question, okay, then just call it and give me the content. Good, right? Now let me create a REST endpoint for it so that we can trigger it. Just go here and I will just create another class. The class name I can give chat AI controller. Just annotate here at the REST controller. Then I will just define the base URL, which is nothing. I will define request mapping. Just define. Okay, let's keep it meaningful. Then I will just inject the AI service which I created. Then I will just write a method, public string ask to AI, give your question or input, then simply call the chat AI service dot ask to DeepSeek AI, pass your question. Now since this is my REST endpoint, I am giving the input. I will define get mapping, and how you want to pass the input, I can pass through request parameter, right? And I will keep the parameter name as the same question. You can also define one URL here. You can define something prompt. Now once you trigger this particular endpoint, it will connect to your service, and in your service you are connecting to the DeepSeek AI through the chat client. Now chat client will be initialized by considering the properties value what you have defined here. He understand, okay, this is what the base URL of Ollama, and inside Ollama user is running this particular model. Let me pass the prompt what user giving to me to this guy directly, and let's get the response from him. Okay, that's what the simple flow we have designed here. Now what I can do, let me check the port, yeah, 9191. Now let me start the application, then we'll validate. Okay, let's run it. So application started on port 9191, right? Just go to the browser and I will type here localhost 9191, this one, right? The URL we have localhost 9191 slash API slash AI slash prompt, and this is what the input. So I will just give something, give me some latest jokes. Okay, just run it. It will take few seconds to give you the response back. Okay, because internally it will talk to your DeepSeek R1, and since it is running on my local, it will take few seconds to get the response back. So let's wait to get it. So it took around 5 to 10 seconds and I got the response here. Let me zoom this for you. Sure, here are few recent and popular jokes in various category, technology versus culture. You can read the jokes. Okay, I am not interested to read the joke at this moment. What do we call a lawyer who got some money? A dollar bill. I don't understand. I didn't feel laugh. If you understand, yeah, you can. That's fine. Now, what happened here? We wait till we get all the response, right? We trigger the endpoint, but we wait for the response. But if you don't want to wait for complete response and you want to tell to the Spring, hey, whatever the response you are getting, just give me that chunk. I don't want to wait for all to complete. Then you can do the reactive programming, right? So there is a class, I can say, flux and mono. For group of data you can use the flux and you can use that in your code. Okay, so what I want to do, I don't want to wait for complete response, rather I want to force to Spring, hey, give me the chunk of response what you are getting immediately from the model. So what I can do, I'll just copy this. I'll tell here ask to DeepSeek AI with stream, something like that. Now the return type should be flux. This is part of the reactive programming. You can use the flux. Now here you can just do the change. Hey chat client, give me the content on the form of stream. Okay, all good. Now let's test this out. Just go to the controller class and I will create another controller. I just need to create another method slash stream. This is the value. Ask to AI with stream. Just change the method call. Okay, what it will return? It will return you the flux of string. Just return the correct value. All good, right? Now let me restart the app. So it started. Now let's trigger this particular endpoint. Okay, so I'll go to the same, then I'll just change here slash prompt slash stream. Okay, I'll ask the same question. Let's wait for the response. You no need to wait for complete response. You'll see the magic now. See here, whatever the chunk of data it retrieve, it immediately return back. Okay, as a chunk of text or chunk of char sequence. You can see the continuous message here as a stream. Already I have covered the reactive programming. If you are not sure, yeah, this is the video. This is the dedicated playlist of reactive programming. How to play with flux, mono, all those stuffs, functional programming, everything I have covered here. You can just search with the reactive programming, you will find it, or Spring Reactive. I didn't remember exactly. You can check that out. Okay. Meanwhile, we are getting the response. So again, it will give you the stream, chunk of stream. You can read them. Now meanwhile, since I have already created one HTML page to get better feel about connecting to the chat model, so let's add it. Since we have added the time leaf, let me add that. This is the HTML page. Again, I took the help from AI to get this particular page. Okay, so I'll just copy this. I'll go to the resource template. I will create a new file called index.html. Paste it. So there is no rocket science. Through the JavaScript, I am calling this particular endpoint. Okay, we'll take the input from the form and will pass to your controller. Okay, so if you see here, I have defined the endpoint call. Can you see here? Slash API slash AI prompt and the question. And the question what user will pass in the form. Okay. And there are some HTML CSS to just make the graphic little better. That's the things I have added here. Definitely I will share this code with you in the video description. You can find the GitHub link. Now what I can do, I need to also define another controller to load this index.html page on start of my application. So I'll just define home controller. Then I need to annotate here @controller, and then just do one thing, write a method public string, just return your HTML page name, which is nothing, index, that's it, right? Then just define get mapping no URL. If I'll give localhost 9191 / it should load this particular page. That is what I want. Then from the page I will pass the prompt which will connect to this particular endpoint. We already tried different example before using this time leaf. Okay, so there are no rocket science. Now let me restart the app. So it started. Now just go to the browser, see the result we got here. Okay, so just go to the browser, type localhost 9191. It load our HTML page, that is index.html. Now I have this template Java Techie AI chat and ask something here. Just pass the prompt as give me latest Hollywood movie name. Okay, the spelling is correct. Yes, I think. Okay, let it be. Now just add the inspect, click on send. It will take some time, so let's wait it to complete. I will show you the result we'll get from the chat model. So we got the response. It took around 40 seconds for me to generate the response. Again, it depends on your machine. Since my machine does not have good configuration, I am using 1.5 billion parameter, so it is taking time. If you have a good configuration, then definitely will get the fast response. Fine. So these are the response. Let me close this. Your answer is ready. Just click on it. You will find the response here. You can read if you know any movie. 2018, any latest? 17. Okay. I mean, whatever knowledge this model have, he give you the response. And see here, it enable the deep thing by default. Okay. So this is how you can integrate DeepSeek using Spring AI. Okay. And if you'll go to the Spring AI, there is also alternative way to do it. So I'll just go to the Spring. Okay. I think the link is here only. If you'll scroll down, you will find something called DeepSeek. Can you see here DeepSeek AI? Just click on it. Now Spring AI to OpenAI API DeepSeek. You can see the what configuration you need. You need this specific dependency, then you need this properties value. So the document is well defined. You can follow this. So at first step, what you need to do, you need to generate the API key. So you'll find the link somewhere here. Create an API key. So just open this particular link. Now this is the DeepSeek documentation. You can use this particular link to create API key. Somehow I created the API key, but if you'll see the usage is 0. I have not used anything, so there are no free limit for me to experiment on it. Even there is a billing, so nothing is worked out here. So if you see here, due to current server resource constraint, we have temporarily suspended API service recharge to prevent any potential impact on your operation. So I have tried it, but somehow they disabled it for now. So when it will be available, definitely I will come up with another video to integrate your application to directly DeepSeek API through the API call. Okay, so these are the documents for it. You can follow if you want to do it, but somehow you cannot do it since they disabled it. Okay, so yeah, that's it about this particular video. Do let me know in a comment section if you have any doubts, or just do let me know in a comment section if you are interested for Spring AI complete course. Okay, it will be completely free on YouTube. Just do let me know in a comment section if you are really interested. That's all about this particular video, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Meet you soon with a new concept.